a new amp.
It's a new ampty.
From Victory Amplification.
From the chaps and chapesses at, yes, in sunny England at the Victory place. So, so the story behind the V40, should we introduce ourselves?
I'm Rob.
If you don't know who we are by now, then I'm Lee. Sometimes known as the Captain.
We're at a place called Andertons.co.uk.
Yes.
In sunny Guildford,
and you can
in
tell
England.
It's winter now because I have changed my Andertons t-shirt for an Andertons sweatshirt.
And my wonderful fiance got with this beautiful pullover.
It's nice. Is that cashmere?
I don't know.
So, some of you guys may know of Victory and the amps that they've made, and a very, very cool and uber popular little amplifier called the V30, which is essentially a black version of this. 2 channels, kind of like a mini version of their hand-wired V50. Nice clean channel, great distortion channel, used by players like Guthrie Govan and a heap of other guys. Anyway, over the summer, Victory's chief main amp designer, a chap called Martin Kidd, was chatting to a lovely guy called Mick Taylor, who does lots of other gear reviews. He's a fantastic sort of bluesy player. And Mick had used the V30 and was saying, you know what, Martin, I kind of think what I really want is something the size of the V30 and the sort of power of the V30, but that's just a straight up clean single channel amplifier that I can plug my pedals in. And Martin apparently had had a similar conversation with a few other people. And a few weeks later, or a couple of months later, Martin sent one of these down to Mick Taylor and just sort of said, you know, what do you think of this? And the rest, as they say, is history. I think it's an absolutely phenomenal sounding sort of blues amplifier.
And on the inside, it's nothing like V30, is it?
No, it's completely different to the V30. It's still a PCB amplifier, so that's the sort of one similarity that it has. Ironically, and this is ironic, the tone testing that was done for the V30, and it's great at Victory because they put like loads of different sort of modded versions of the amplifier out, different valves, different things like that, and kind of you blind test and sort of go through and just think, right, well, what should I, what do we like? And I'm talking sort of, if you like, of personal experience, because I've been lucky enough that I was involved in the final tone testing for this, and less so for the V30. I was involved a little bit with the cabinets that went with that. But that's essentially what they do. And you you don't know what's in anything, so you go, oh, I like that one, and da da da, and you narrow it down. And the V30, which everybody thought should have EL34s in it, everyone decided they liked the 6L6 sound better. And this, which you'd absolutely say should have 6L6s in the power section,
yeah,
everybody unanimously went, it sounds more, you know, like that one sounds more Fendery. And it's like, well, that's weird, because
that must be because it's not just to do with valves, it's to do with the valves and the whole process.
It's everything, the preamps and circuits.
It's the whole system.
Exactly the same as the V30 though. There's a bias switch internally. You can change the 34s, 4 6L6s, flick a switch, and you're in the right kind of bias ballpark to get optimum performance from the amp. You should always have a tech kind of rebias it properly, but it'll give you an idea. So if you're one of these guys that just likes to tweak valves and see what happens, feel free. So single channel, and so we've got volume, treble, middle, bass, reverb, and master volume. So real simple. Some switches on the front here. Voice 1 and 2 is a kind of a, voice 1 is if you like that more sort of blackface era, sparkly top end, enhanced sort of bass end, not much in the mid range. Voice 2 takes it into more of a tweed era with perhaps a little bit sort of more pronounced sort of mid-range and a slightly sort of darker top end. Martin was saying he thinks that pedals, certainly drive pedals, seem to work better through the Voice 2, but that's really personal taste. Mid-kick, again, it's a lower mid-range sort of boost, might make a Strat sound a bit more humbuckery if you like, but again, just plop that into taste. The reverb is a digital reverb. There's physically not enough room in this kind of amplifier to put a full spring reverb.
It sounds immense.
I know, it's kind of, if you don't mention it's a digital reverb and just say it's reverb, pretty much guarantee you that no one's ever going to come up and go, oh, it sounds digital.
Well, I don't mind that my effects pedals have digital reverb.
Exactly. Master volume, 40 watt output in its high mode, but it's switchable down to a low mode, which takes it down to about 15 watts from memory. And then on the back, you can switch it to what's called a single-ended mode. So instead of running the pair of output tubes, it just runs one, which again in low mode drops it down to 2 or 3 watts or something like that. So very versatile amp. Some of the pros out there, I know you guys will like this. It has an effects loop on there, but the effects loop is a hardwire bypassable, so it has a true bypass. So if you're one of these guys that's like, no, don't want it, I just want vintage tones, don't like effects loops, that's fine. You can press a button and it bypasses that. And the reverb also. So if you would rather use your perhaps you own a very expensive reverb pedal like a Strymon, or or you particularly like your TC reverb, again you can hard bypass the internal reverb here and just use the effects loop. So it's pro. I mean, it's pro spec. Sells for about the same sort of money as a V30, so around about the £800 mark. It's made in the UK. V30 so far, touch wood, has been bulletproof reliable for Andertons, so I hope we get the same sort of performance out of this. And the cabinet, again, compact cabinet. You can use this with anything you like. Some of the videos that you see Mick Taylor using it with are Zilla cabs, which sound great. You can use it with any of the Victory cabinets, but again, during tone testing, the compact cabinet, which for the V30 has a vintage 30 speaker in it, and you'll notice that there's 2 of these now. There's if you find the cabinet with the black logo on the front, that's got the vintage 30 in it. If you find the cabinet with the cream logo on the front, that has a Celestion cream back in it, which is a bassier, more vintage American-y almost sounding kind of, certainly a bassier sounding sort of speaker. So it works great with this. You should play, and I'll just literally, as we go through, I'll just kind of tweak. We've been using this with a very, very clean preamp setting, and then getting all of the drive from our pedals and from our guitars. But we don't have to do that, because this has got some sizzle in it as well. So what I think we'll do first is we'll just whiz through the tone settings, leaving the amp relatively clean, so you can just get an idea of what these different switches do.
I wish the Strat had auto-tune, Lee.
So here is our kind of clean tone. this is voice 2. You know, if I had a Fender amplifier, typically I tend to set them up a bit sort of smiley face on the EQ. So I've gone back to voice 1.
A bit what on EQ?
Smiley face, you know, lots of treble, lots of bass, not too... I should mention actually while I'm doing this, this for the first time ever is also going to be available in a combo. Ooh. And if you're thinking to yourself, do you know what, I love this little looking rig here, but I wish it was just this much smaller, you're in luck. Because essentially what they've done is they've taken the cabinet and housed the amplifier and the speaker in pretty much the same size cabinet.
The whole combo would be like this metal chassis.
No,
it would be a big metal cube.
Very, very compact. Anyway, so let's try, I've put all the EQ flat again. We'll go to the tweed setting, sounds like this. I'm just going to put the mid kick in, so this is a bit more lower mid. Just there's no pedals, by the way, just in case you're wondering. 0 pedals on at the moment. Now if I drive this, so I'm going to just drop the master a bit to compensate. If we go to say 12 o'clock on the volume, and I'll get not sure where the sound sort of goes then, because it hasn't got that slightly, I sometimes find if you drive Fender amplifiers, you can get a slightly sort of nasty sort of transient distortion there, but it doesn't sound martially either. It just sort of sounds kind of...
How's the sound?
Yeah, it's like a pleasant sort of gainy sound. If you really want to kind of gun this amplifier, it has actually got a bit of naughtiness in it. I
Typical Martin kid.
Yeah, I think he finds it. I don't think Martin is capable of building an amp that doesn't go a bit naughty. So if we sort of wind this up 3/4 of the way round, and I guess Rob's got he can use the mid boost. Also, there's all sorts of fun stuff on that Strat we can use. But if we start,
well, here's half the volume. Wow.
So I just want to
I wasn't expecting that.
No.
At all.
I think this is... There's a lot of people out there that do just... You know, we've got amps with 7 channels and this, that and the other. And there's a lot of guitar players out there just find one sound that they like and then just, you know, do a little bit with the volume control and a couple of pedals. And kind of this is really... That's this. It's just saying, do you know what? Let's strip it back. One great sound. I want to hear kind of a screaming lead. Les Paul.
All right. I reckon we can do that now. Are we going through my board or your board?
There's No, I haven't plugged in any pedals at all yet, but we are plugged into my board, but none of it. So I might give you a bit of EP boost if you need it.
That, you know when you turn the delay pedal off kind of thing, and you just use the brightness from the delay pedal?
Yes.
Could we use a little bit of that concept?
Yes.
To tackle...
Just so you know what Rob's talking about. My board...
Wait, I'm just going to tune my guitar.
Okay. My board, which again there's a video on that you can go and watch if you want, has an EP boost by Exotic, which is awesome, which is like a fattening pedal. A Stax Master, which is a drive pedal that I was lucky enough to design with the guys at Love Pedal. It has a chorus pedal and it has a carbon copy delay pedal on it. And the carbon copy I noticed, as well as adding echo, it seems to add some sort of brightness again to the tone. So I quite often just like to have the carbon copy on just for that. This is nothing, and then I'll just stomp on some pedals.
A lot of verbiage.
Yes.
So it's 40 watts?
Yeah, it's 40 watts. As I said, uses a pair of EL34s. So it's 3 tubes, 3 12AX7s in the preamp. I suppose I'll tell you what I can do, just because it's fun. Let's just show you the sort of the relative volume drop differences. So if I get a sort of a cleany crunch tone again in high mode, and then we'll go to low mode and then to single ended. And if Revere doesn't change the levels, if you like, you should get some sort of relative, tone volume. Yeah. That's high mode, this is low mode. And this is single-ended mode. So that means one power tube now instead of the pair of them. You notice again how much the power section kind of dirties up a bit as well as you go to single-ended. One of the things that I've never seen on another amplifier, and Martin did on the V30 as well as the V40, the little switch on the back for single-ended mode has a left position, which is one valve, a middle position, which is both valves, and a right position, which is the other valve. And when I sort of said to him, what's the point of that? He said, well, if you have a single-ended mode that only ever uses one of the valves,
that valve gets knackered. That
valve wears out faster than the other one. So his kind of advice is, look, like if you use it in single-ended mode all the time, just literally, just one gig that way, next gig that way, and then the two should wear out theoretically at about the same rate.
What's it like in single-ended but cranked?
Well, that's again, that you'll get the maximum probably power output, power amp distortion then, and it'll also give it that kind of classic single-ended sort of, it'll probably be a bit spongier. I've never really been some people love that kind of, just sound, almost like that sort of AC30, just literally about to explode kind of sound. I don't know, I've always preferred it, but it's all taste, isn't it? So here we are, this is in its lowest mode, but with lots of gain.
Well, it doesn't need lots of gain, I just wondered if it's like a nice crunchy warm.
It should be. I think the single-ended mode kind of suits you know, like those little Fender Champs where you hear guys cranking the shit out of them and playing slide guitar,
Yeah.
and it's almost like a quite a gnarly sort of like,
Brittle.
not like Wasp in a Jam Jar. That's slightly unfair, but it's that kind of like, wow. That's, to me, that's always been that little 5-watt amplifier cranked to maximum.
Yeah.
Whereas I think sort of smoother and more pleasant gain tones are where the amp has a bit more headroom and not necessarily kind of on the limit of about to blow up. But
Yeah.
this is what we love about guitars. It's just, you know, everybody's going to go, well, I really like that sound, I don't like that sound, and it's all, that's cool. So yeah, nice and lightweight, as you would imagine. I'm not doing a very good demonstration of making it look lightweight there, but it's...
That was amazing. Nice and lightweight. Oh, it is.
It's... I can't remember the funny story behind why it's this size, and we've probably told you this story in a V30 video, but it comes from a discussion with Guthrie Govan and Martin Kidd about how could Martin make an amp that Guthrie could go anywhere with. Yeah, take, you know, go on all these flights to these far-flung gigs that he had. And the piece of paper that Martin was sent as his design brief was the EasyJet hand luggage dimensions thing. You know, normally you'd imagine an amp spec being got to have these features and these tubes and everything like that. No, it's just got to fit in this EasyJet luggage.
I like that. That's genuine, real, you know, real life. You know, that's what we do.
And EasyJet, if you're not from England, is like a low-cost airline that you know, only let you take
like
really
Ryanair.
small. Well, or what is it? Is it Southwest Airlines in America? I don't know, but it's like they only let you take a small amount of free luggage on for free. So there we go. It's got a nice little purple on and off light, which is one of my favourite features.
Oh, we love Victory.
It's made in Englandshire, the land of the hobbits and things like that. And as I said, in the UK it's about £800, and I know that Andertons is getting these early December. So I guess if you...
this could be someone's Christmas stocking filler, if you've got a massive stocking.
I say that, I'm pretty sure that pre-Christmas there's only about 30 or 40 of these being made. So you may not be one of the lucky people. But I know, as I said, Andertons get them, and they're going, you know, they're shipping out to all the stores that sell these in the USA and all around the world. So go check, you know, if you're not fortunate enough to live in the UK, go and see if you can find one of these at your local Victory dealer, or if your local guitar store isn't a Victory dealer, go and tell them they should be.
Yeah.
So
well, there you go.
Yeah, I think that's it. What else have we got on the back? We told you about the effects loop. It comes with a foot pedal that turns the reverb on and off. I guess some people like to have, you know, big reverb on it. On amplifiers that have one reverb for the whole amplifier, you do tend to find that your clean sound, you go, oh, I quite like the reverb out there, and then as soon as you switch to a gain sound, it's like, whoa, way too much reverb, turn it down.
Yeah.
So you have got a pedal on the floor, so you can at least defeat the reverb.
Also, some people like to use reverb for a lead sound, but not for a rhythm sound.
Yeah. So anyway, so that pedal comes with it. Nice bag.
Here's a pick.
Have a plectrum. Anyway,
Chappers.
and I've enjoyed this because I love the blues.
Yeah. Bye.